Mermaids, the cause of global warming. Once upon a time, there was a big fight among the gods that the presidents of all gods, Amon-Ra, decided to call the Magic Six. Because why not? All the gods gathered in the Himalayas for the meeting. The angry Neptune, the god of the sea, arrived on his horse together with his best friend Putov, which is the god of the earth, who arrived on a white bear. From the other side arrived the libertine Poseidon, the other god of the sea, on his shark, together with his best friend Obami, the other god of the earth, who arrived on his pony. Of course, the last one who appeared was Aphrodite, the goddess of love. She came on the shoulders of her slaves, just for fun. Neptune was really angry, so he started immediately to accuse Poseidon for the stolen territory and abused mermaids. President Amon-Ra started to investigate Neptune, what exactly happened. In that moment, the Poseidon began to shout loudly to Neptune and to ask money from him because of the plastic surgery of the mermaids. Neptune said, "I am not paying for mermaids that all look like Kardashians. I want blonde mermaids." Putov also agreed for the blonde mermaids, but Obami just was okay with it. And when Aphrodite realized that these horny gods want to turn her mermaids into an escort service, she took them away and ordered them to go in a war in Syria. The winner from this war will take all the mermaids. So gods started their journey to Syria, but because of the Romanian GPS who said, "Turn left," they entered in Armenia. After a while, everybody saw Kardashians passes by, and Obami part wasn't interested anymore in the war for the mermaids. Then Putov pissed off and called Angel for a better GPS, and he finally entered in Syria. So because Obami quit, he decided to kill the local people just for fun. On the end, Aphrodite saw what happened between gods of earth. She decided that she will not keep mermaids anymore on this planet. Neptune and Poseidon were disappointed from the gods of earth, so decided to fill the earth with water, with hope that Obami and Putov will disappear. Amon-Ra pissed off too, so he increased the temperature of the sun. So big fires cause a global warming. Thank you.
Once upon a time, deep in the woods of England, lived a man with a golden heart and a fist of steel who took from the rich and gave to the poor. Some of you might know him under the name of Robin Hood. Even though Robin Hood seemed very happy with his job, when the night comes, he could not think about anything else but only of the police princess he saw in a painting in one rich man's house. After many struggles, he realized that he could not continue living like that, so he finally decided to go and find his true love. And so the story begins. Without much trouble, he managed to travel to Samos, where the beautiful princess lived. The next morning, he went to the shops and bought modern local clothes to impress the princess. But he forgot one very important thing: to learn Polish. Because he was Robin Hood, he managed to break in the palace garden and hide behind the bushes. When the princess was taking her daily walk in the garden, Robin Hood jumped in front of her, and in that moment he realized that he doesn't know her language. He was so embarrassed because the love of his life was standing in front of him and he could not impress her. Sad and disappointed, he ran away and to kill his sadness, he went to a local pub. After countless beers, he noticed that from a dark corner, a strange-looking man staring at him. "What are you doing so far away from home?" the man asked. As shocked and confused as he was, he took his knife out. But he was too drunk to stand up. "Easy, easy, old friend, don't you recognize me?" Suddenly, he realized that the man was a long-lost friend from England. Robin explained to him the reason why he was there and asked John to teach him some Polish words. They stayed all night and as Robin tries to learn Polish. The next day, he felt prepared and decided to visit the palace again. When the princess appeared, he shouted, "I love you!" The princess was really impressed and she really liked him, so she replied, "No, the only way that my father will let me marry you will be if you gave me fabrica." The poor Robin Hood misunderstood and left happily, thinking that the princess wanted fabric to make a dress. The next day, Robin Hood went again with a very expensive fabric for his princess. "Princess, princess, I have your fabric," he shouted. "Brad should see it," the princess replied. A boy ran from behind the corner and knocked over a flower pot, and Robin saw him and thought that he's a brat. "Hey, you, clean that up," he yelled. "No way, you can't tell me what to do," the little prince replied. "Let me show you something," said Robin, and targeted the prince's hat with his arrow before the boy could realize his hat wasn't on his head anymore. "Clean it now," he yelled again. The boy ran away frightened, calling for his sister. The princess appeared. Charmed Robin Hood forgot about everything else, go on one knee and proceed to her. "Will you marry me, my beautiful princess?" Impressed by his courage, she says with excitement, "No." When he heard her answer, his heart broke and he decided to leave the palace and never speak to a Polish person again. That's why he will never find out that no in Polish means yes. And if you ever visit Zamość, you may find him in a bar drinking beer alone and thinking about his forever lost princess.
Hello, my name is Lina and I'm from Macedonia, and today I will tell you a legend from my home country, more specifically for a town called Kratovo in the northern part of Macedonia, which is also known as the City of Bridges. So as every legend starts, long time ago lived 9 brothers. They were builders and they were building this huge bridge, but every morning when they went to work, they were building the bridge, but when the next morning when they returned, there was no bridge. There were only ruins. The bridge was destroyed. So they didn't know what to do because they were putting so much effort in that bridge. So decided to visit the local prophet, who told them that the place where they want to build that bridge is a fairy place. And the fairies, every night, they destroy the bridge because they don't want somebody to take their place. The only way they could do something like that to build that bridge was to bring a sacrifice. But what was the sacrifice? Back then, the people had a custom that the wife had to take lunch to their husband. They had to take lunch to their husband. And the sacrifice was that the first woman who goes there and who gives the lunch to the husband, that she will be the sacrifice. So they weren't supposed to tell, but they did. They told their wives, and the only one who didn't tell his wife was the youngest brother. So when the next day came, the only wife who showed up was the wife of the youngest brother. So they had to make a sacrifice. So even today you can go there and see that bridge, and it has her name. Her name was Rada, and they still call it Radin Bridge. But that's not how the story ends. She also had a baby, And if you go to that bridge right now, you will see that there are two spots that are blank. And the legend says that those two spots were actually the place where her breasts laid, and even though she was already dead, she also still had milk. So that was in a way a gift from the gods, so the baby could continue living, although they had to give a sacrifice to the fairies. So that's it.
Hello, my name is Katerina. I'm also coming from Macedonia, so I will share a local story about a ghost of one bride. So once upon a time, there was a bride who should get married with her love boyfriend. So on the day of the wedding, she was passing near the road that is close to her village. So some car hit her and she died from the car, but nobody tried to help her. So no other car tried to stop and to help her to bring to the hospital. So from that time, people now they are saying that on that way under the bridge, that the ghost of the bride is always appearing and is waiting for a ride. So a lot of people are telling that they have seen the bride, and usually she is appearing to people who are driving alone, and she is getting in the car, and after a while she's disappearing in the car. So there is also different kind of stories that on that place is appearing some white dust or something. So me and my friend, because we were not believing in the ghost story for the bride, we went one to this place to check what will happen under the bridge. And there is like a crossroad next to the bridge. So we went there and we were making fun like in round with the car. And suddenly it was a winter time, but there was no snow in that time. Suddenly, only in the crossway started to snow. So after that, we really believed that something happened on that place. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Christina and I came from Latvia, and I'm going to tell you the story about Riga. Легенда гласит о том, что на одном из берегов реки Даугава, это самая большая река в городе Рига, жил великан по имени Большой Кристофер. Он помогал людям перебираться с одного берега реки на другой. И однажды ночью он, как обычно, спал. К нему пришел маленький мальчик и попросил его перевести на другой берег. Конечно же, он согласился. Но на середине реки он почувствовал, что мальчик такой тяжелый, и что у него заканчиваются силы, и он не способен дойти до конца. Но он дошел, он не сдался, но сразу же уснул. Когда он проснулся, мальчика уже не было. И возле него лежала горстка золота. На это золото он купил Ригу. И с тех пор на том месте стоит памятник Кристоферу. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Katia and I'm coming from Greece, and I'm gonna tell you a fable, an Aesop fable. So the story is, once upon a time there was a hare who was walking around in the forest. As he was walking around, he saw turtles who was walking very slowly. Because the turtle was walking very slowly, the hare started to make fun of her. He said, "Haha, you are slower than a snail." The turtles replied, "If you want, we can have a race." The hare said, "Of course, I'm gonna definitely beat you." So the next day, all the animals of the forest gathered to watch the race. The fox made the signal and the runner started. As hare was running, he looked behind, but he couldn't see the turtles. because he was faster. So he thought, oh, okay, maybe I can have a nap and later I can finish my race. But he fell asleep for a long time, and when he woke up, he realized that the tortoise was already in the finish line and all the other animals were cheering for the tortoise. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Denia. I'm coming from Greece, and I tell you one story from ancient Greece. Demeter was the goddess of agriculture. She had a beautiful daughter. Her name was Persephone. She loved her very much. She was very precious for her. Persephone had really nice fair hair. Her eyes was blue and so bright. She has a really cute smile, and when she walked, a spring smell spread in the air. One sunny morning, the sky was clear without any clouds. Persephone went out to collect flowers. There was Hades, the god of dead people. When he saw her, he was mesmerized from her beauty. He kidnapped her without second thought. When Demeter realized that Hades kidnapped her daughter, she started crying. She felt very miserable. Day by day, the trees were dry. They didn't have crops. All the native was dry. People started to die because they can't find water and food. Their only solution was to go to ask Zeus for help. Zeus went to Demeter. He met her in a really bad condition. She asked which was the problem, and the nature was so dry. She told him that her daughter was living in the place of dead people, and she couldn't see her at all. The nature would grow up again only when she was able to live with her daughter. Zeus went to Hades very determined. He really understood the difficult situation with all the world was. He asked him to take Persephone to her mother, but no one wanted to change their mind. Zeus found the best solution for all of them. He decided Persephone to live 6 months in the place of dead people and 6 months to live with her mother. After that, the 6 months that Persephone was in the place with the dead people, the trees didn't have crops, and for the 6 months that it was in the earth, the trees had crops, the lakes had water, and the nature and all people were happy. Thank you.
Back in times, Romania was not a country. Actually, it was not called Romania, it was called Dacia. We had a great king. His name was Decebal, but he lost a big war with Romans in year 100, so the Romans conquered our country. Decebal escaped to the mountains and killed himself in order not to be taken by the Romans. But Decebal had a daughter called Dokia, and she was very, very beautiful and very, very smart, and everyone would just fall in love with her whenever they first saw her. So Trajan, the Roman king, saw her and immediately fell in love with her. So he went to the girl and told her, I really like you, I want to marry you and bring you to Rome and let you live in my palace to have all the great things that Romans have. And she was, no, I am a duck, I am the daughter of Decebal, I will never come to Rome and I will never marry someone that is not, someone that conquered my country. But you can do this, marry your soldiers with our women, so the next generations will be as stubborn as we are and as great as you Romans are. So he thought, yeah, that's a really good idea. So he actually did that, and that's how Romanian people got born. But the story goes on. Trajan didn't give up the girl. He really loved her, so he tried to kidnap her. The girl ran into the mountains and tried to escape the army. But unfortunately, Trajan caught her and wanted to kidnap her and bring to Rome. So the girl had prayed really, really strongly to Zamolxis, the dark great god, to do a miracle and not let her be kidnapped. So the god answered her question, so he transformed the girl into a stone. And if you go to Chaclau mountain, a mountain in Romania, you can even now see a statue that looks like her.
Hello, my name is Ladislau and I'm from Romania. I tell you a story, a legend from Romania. In the middle of 14th century, in Romania, we have a king named Vlad the Impaler. Most of the people know him as Dracula, and that story knows everybody. Vlad, it was the Prince of Wallachia, and his father was a member of the Order of the Dragon. Vlad has been characterized as a tyrant who took sadistic pleasure and torture and killing his enemy. Estimated of the number of his victims range from 40,000 to 100,000. Impalement was Vlad's preferred method of torture and execution. He was so cruel that he roasted children and then fed them to their mothers, and cut off the breasts of women and forced them husbands to eat them. After that, he had them all impaled. Another legend tells us in 1462, Mehmed II, the conqueror of Constantinople, returned to Constantinople after being sick because of the sight of 200 impaled corpses outside Vlad's capital of Târgoviște in Wallachia. After his death, he was buried in a great tomb in the chapel of his castle. Dracula returns from death as a vampire and lives for several centuries in her castle with 3 terrifying, beautiful female vampires behind him. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Anton and I'm from Latvia. So today I will speak about our native fairy tale called Three Brata. The one of them was really stupid and he decided to catch his luck being the one from the 3 brothers who tried to pretend to took a house from his father. So the father decided to give from one of them a house, and immediately 2 of them started to arguing whose house will be. And the stupid one, he didn't do anything. He just was lying outside the house and do nothing. So father said that who will find the most beautiful pillow in the world will have a house near the Sigulda, local town in Latvia. So 2 brothers started searching for a pillow, but one stupid one was just lying and do nothing. When the father asked him why he didn't do anything, he took his old horse and gave her chance to decide where she needs to go. So actually he got in a very deep forest. He discovered the castle near the Sigulda that was really dark, and there was two cats standing behind the door. He entered the castle and saw that there's a lot of cats, and one of them was really beautiful. It was a white cat. There was speaking Latvian, and stupid brother decided to live there for a while. So he stayed there for a night and felt himself like a king because cat was really nice to him. On the morning he decided to go to a way to search a pillow, but cats didn't allow him and said that that's not a problem. You shall stay here for a while, like for 2-3 days more, and you will have like the most beautiful pillow in the world. He done that, and in the last day, the most beautiful cat, white one, gave him a nut. He took a nut, and the white cat said, "You shouldn't open it before you will come home." He took a nut and come home and does everything that white cat said to him. He opened the nut and there was a beautiful pillow. Two other brothers was really exhausted and have nothing beautiful than that pillow that stupid one have. But stupid one didn't want to have a house. He decided to give the choice to another two brothers to decide whose will be the house. And then the father said, "It will be another competition for you brothers, and you should find the most beautiful skirt for your future wife." The two smartest one took their best horses, took their gold, and take away to search for a skirt. But the stupid one was lying at home and doing nothing. Father came to him and asked, "Why you do nothing? Try to find something to make your life better and purpose in life." But the brother was lying. After that, he took his old horse and gave her choice to go where she wants. She was pretending to be in a castle because there was cool. So she took stupid one to a castle. There was in a cat castle in Sigolde. Brother was there for a while, just for a night, and cat said him, like, "What's the problem, bro?" And then stupid one said, like, "I need a skirt for my future wife." And they said, "You can live here for 3 days and we'll get you a skirt." He wasn't interested really in life, and he stayed. So after 3 days, the white cat gave him a box and said that you should not open it before you came at home. The brother does everything that cat said. Actually, he brought the box to home and opened it. There was the most beautiful skirt in the world. Their father was unexpected, so he didn't know what to do and decided, brother, not arguing, about a house and just searched for a wife. The smartest one took their best horses, took their gold, and take away to search their wife. Stupid one was just lying. Father came to him and asked why you don't want to do anything, but he doesn't answer and just took his old horse and didn't know what to do, because in the castle where he was after all, he didn't see any people, so he won't find there a wife. But the horse pretended to be there, and she took him to a castle. When he came, he felt himself like a king and stayed there for a night. In the morning, he asked Cat what he should do to find his wife. And Cat said, "Live here for 4 days, and then you will have a beautiful wife." He said okay, and just lived there for 4 days. The last night was really strange and scary. He woke at night because the storm was coming to a castle, and all the windows was broken because of wind. So brother came outside his room and discovered that the cat was already people. And the most beautiful one cat, white cat, was a beautiful woman that came to him and said, "You will be my husband." So he grabbed her and took to house. There was already a wedding with 2 brothers and beautiful wives, but they wasn't so beautiful as a white cat. So the little Yanis, that was the smallest brother in the family, pretend to be a house owner. But he was really cool brother, so he took a part of the house and gave it to one brother. He took another part of the house and took to other. So the wedding of the smallest and stupidest one was in a castle that in Sigulda. It is really strange story because we have a legend about the castle and about curse that which gave to the family of knights there was there. So the curse was the people turned to a cat and just they need to have a guest for 3 days, for 3 times, and that curse will gone. So that is my story for today. Thank you.